Mentalities. You are rocking with your host, Sauce the Boss. Listen, we already have a second part to Victims of Addiction. We did some rearranging. I got two beautiful women here with me to elaborate a little bit more on the story that we had with Enzo and, KD last episode. So, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of these things, and you're going to see from two different perspectives, a more elaborate view on everything that happened from the childhood stories, so on and so forth. We're going to touch on some things about our adulthood, how everything that transpired in the past, happened to affect us as adults. Just a general synopsis, a history, all that good stuff, man. So we've been excited for this episode. I know everybody's tensions is high, everybody's nerves is high. Look at everybody get loose. Yeah, man. You don't gotta be nervous, man. You're just gonna speak your truth, and you're gonna have an outlet and some type of way to get this off of your chest. So everybody, can relate to you. There's a lot of people going through this struggle. Don't think you're the only one. And a lot of people are scared to speak their truth. So first of all, thank you ladies for coming on here and speaking your truth. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself. So to my left,
Miss Sauce Boss.
You got Miss Sauce in the house, y'all. That's my wife. Shout out to her. Yeah, me. And who we got across the table right now?
We got Sensita. Hello, everybody.
Alright, we got Sensita. But you ain't shouting out the Facebook page. What we got? What you doing? Shout out that platform. What you got for the business?
So I got Sensita on the Facebook, and I have Instagram. I also have TikTok. You can also look me up for Sensita 2031 or 2130. And if not, you can always just look up my original page on Facebook, which is Sensita Braids, right?
Yeah, so it's Sensita Braider.
Sensita Braider, that's right. And the braiding page is Sensita Braids.
Okay.
That's correct.
So Sensita Braiders on Facebook and Sensita Braider are braids?
Yeah, Sensita Braids.
Sensita Braids is on what, Instagram?
No, that's actually my braiding page.
Oh, that's your braiding page?
Yeah, that's the actual braiding page.
Okay, so she has a braiding page. Listen, man, she has fire braids. She's a very skilled, what is that considered, cosmetology?
Yeah, basically.
She's a very skilled cosmetologist. Listen, man, I've seen her work. A lot of people out here in Hartford County can stand, for her work. She does amazing braids, hair designs. She know what she's doing, man. If your lady got you walking outside and you jacked up and you just came from your hair, cosmetologist, and you ain't looking proper, listen, come get with Sin at Sensita Braids or Sensita Braids on Facebook. Get your dome split the right way and be out here looking fantabulous, alright? So without further ado, we're gonna get into this episode. So I'm gonna pretty much go, from left to right, and I'm gonna ask you guys a series of questions. Just take a deep breath. I know it could get touchy and emotional, but it's time to speak that truth, ladies. So first thing I want to ask is, I want to know, when exactly was your first time witnessing your mother addicted to drugs? So Miss Sauce, tell us, when was the first time you seen it in your life that your mom was addicted to drugs?
Well, there was a few people where we lived at the projects. They was telling me that my mom was using drugs, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. So I would ask God, I'm like, God, please show me. I want to see her. I want to see proof that she's really doing it. And so I kept asking God, and that moment just came. And we were living at our house, 27 Davis Drive. And me and my mom, we were conversating. So she was sitting on one side of the couch and I was sitting on the other. And so we were conversating, and out of nowhere, I seen her nodding off. And I was like, what's wrong with my mom? I was confused at the time. And she put her head back, and all I seen was white all in her nostril. And she started mumbling to me like a mummy. And I was like, God, you really showing me right now. Like, you really put this in front of me right now. And I started crying.
How old were you at this time?
I was about 17.
All right. So Shen, tell me exactly, when was the first time that you witnessed that, or you realized that your mother was really on drugs?
So I didn't really know that she was on the drugs like that. I remember coming off the bus. We were in high school, me and my sister at the time. And the first time I actually saw her high was when we were walking back into the house coming off the bus. And Damari tapped me on the shoulder and she was like, Cynthia, look. And I don't know if you remember, when I recall it, I remember we walked into the house and we looked to our right. And as we looked to our right, my mother was sitting down at the table and she was just dozing off. And I looked at that Mari confused, like, what's going on? Like, I've never seen mommy like that.
So from the first time you guys witnessed her on drugs, like what were some of the major attitude tendencies that you guys got to witness change? Like what changed? What started to change in your household? Like what are some of the more dramatic things that started to change in your household, Miss Osh?
Just everything. From my dad not, not being there on the head. All he thought about was her cheating, because she had left the home completely. She left us behind, you know. Um,
How did that make you feel? Like being left, by your mother and seeing your father, sit there and have to go through that struggle.
I felt hopeless, you know. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Just clarify once again. How old were you?
17.
Sin, how old were you at this time?
Oh, well, I know I'm a year younger than my sister, so maybe I was about like 15 and a half, 16, around there.
And tell me, how did that make you feel seeing your mom, leaving the house at awkward times, not coming home for maybe days at a time or whatever the case may be? Because what Enzo said is that, your mom was gone for multiple days at a time and that you guys didn't see her. She would get dressed up and she would leave. Like, so how did that make you feel?
So I want to clarify that I did miss out a lot on that because I ended up leaving the house when I was 17 because of my mother and I not getting along well.
Okay.
Around the time that my mom was falling into the drugs, I decided to remove myself from there because, it was a lot to take in. Like my siblings were young, Guillermo and Pedro, and having to watch them, wonder every day, like, where's my mom? And at times they would call me when I was out in Hartford with Nuno and they would say, we're hungry. And, I would cry and I'd be like, Nuno, let's go out to Bristol and bring the kids some food,
Yes.
It was a very hard experience, especially mostly for our brothers because around the time my mom fell into the drugs, my sister and I were old enough to, be independent and get ourselves together versus Pedro and Guillermo, they were very young.
Yeah.
So they had to fend on their own around that age, and I bet that was very difficult,
Yeah, to suffer that and not really have a way out of there. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. So we are all currently still dealing with this issue, as we all know at this table, and it gets hard and very traumatic childhood experiences. Going through these things, witnessing them, and not really knowing which way to turn or how to make things happen at that age. Because even if you're old enough to defend for yourself, you don't necessarily have life figured out altogether at that point in time. So Sin, elaborate a little bit on, why you left. You said that you had a bad relationship with mommy, so you ended up leaving. Was it because of the drugs, or was it just a general, bad relationship?
So I feel like growing up in the house, a lot of people always point out how they feel like they're the black sheep in the family.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I necessarily was, but I felt like I was because my mother and I would always bump heads. And we all got hit and stuff like that, but I felt like I got hit the most. And anytime somebody in the house did something she wouldn't ask, she would just blame me for it.
Yeah.
So then as I got older, like I started being able to like understand that it was okay for me to open up and defend myself. Like I was no longer the child that she was saying or she was raising.
Yeah.
I was now 17 and I just wanted to like be happy, And around that time my siblings, I felt bad, but I was like always arguing with her. We were always going at it and I met Nuno at that time, so then me and Nuno got together and I ended up leaving from the house because we would always go at it and I was always getting blamed for stuff.
So, it's kind of interesting because each of you have your own particular relationship with your mother. And Miss Shaw, since you were the oldest one, like tell us a little bit or elaborate about, your relationship, because from my understanding and the things that you've told me and confided in me about is that, you got to see a different side of your mother because you're the oldest one and you got to see some of the good memories before the drugs. So elaborate a little bit about you know, your relationship with mommy back then and before she was on drugs.
I mean, she's a great woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she's the best mom that I can say, you know. She always made sure we always ate. She made sure that we had a house, roof over our head. She made sure we were on time with everything, take us to our appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Just the best mom that you can ever describe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's why it makes me so sad to see my mother the way she is to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the strong woman that she is. You know?
Yeah. And I think that's a point that I kind of want to make clear, you know, as your husband, is that it's a different view from your angle because you got to witness, you know, more of the good times, you know. And when somebody gets to see the good in that individual that they love and that they idolize as their hero, when you grow up, we idolize our parents as our heroes. You know, they mean the world to us, and we trust them. So when we feel like, you know, everything is taken from us, we feel the deepest sense of betrayal because it's like, damn, you held everything down, and out of nowhere, boom. Now we don't get to see we don't realize the slight progression into the addiction. We are so infatuated with our parents that we just don't see it until it's so far gone that boom, it just slaps you in the face and you get that wake up call, you know, or you just wish it wasn't true. So you thank God, like, I don't want this to be true, and then, you know, and then you find out, you know, God just boom right in front of you, it's true, it's the truth. So now what I want to get into is a little bit more of your adulthood, man, because when things like this go on for so long, you know, it affects you as an adult, you know, and I don't, you know, we all have to take self-accountability in our own actions, but at the same time, these traumatic experiences that we have as a kid, especially when they're ongoing into your adulthood, can affect you, and, you know, and sometimes when you're dealing with those emotions, it can make you do crazy shit. So, let's start off with sin. So, you know, I know I said I was gonna go left or right, whatever the case may be, but, you know, I gotta
Switch
flow,
it up a little
gotta
bit.
switch it up, gotta put that sauce on it. So, tell me, you know, what do you think? How do you think this affected your adulthood? You know, dealing with it now, seeing mommy now, you know, many years later, the broken promises, the fact that you are, you know, you're the first one to have kids, you know, so it's not just your mom now, it's your baby's grandmother you're speaking about. So tell us how that affects you currently now in today and age.
So that actually affected me a lot, not having her there for guidance. You know, like, I didn't really know much about being a woman and, you know, being pregnant and the consequences that would come behind it. You know, I always said that if I could go back, I would definitely would. You know, like, for the simple fact that I would give myself the opportunity to restart and rethink with the knowledge I have now. Like, I would do it all over again, and I would not change the fact that I have my kids. You know,
Yeah.
but I would be happy with, like, better decisions I would have made growing up, and then finding out I was pregnant at a young age, and then she was on the drugs. It was hurtful because I always wanted her there.
Y'all about to make me cry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. You know, it was
feeling
hard, you know, because
Yeah.
when you're pregnant, you want that love from your parent.
that's right,
You know what I'm saying? So, not getting that love or that proper, like, advice, or, you know, just having her saying, you know, everything is gonna be okay, I'm gonna be there for you, it was very hard. And my sister replaced her for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't always close, but I always looked for her, you know, when I was pregnant, and she would always check up on me, and she would ask, you know, if I ate.
Yeah, she loved the heck out of them boys. I love them. We all love them boys. You know, and that's crazy, you know, because not a lot of people understand, like, yo, I'm young, I'm a mom, this is all new to me, and I expect my mom to be my mentor because she's been through this, but is she supposed to be my mentor? I don't even have a mentor now because she's gone. That hurts. And I don't have somebody to help be that grandma. Like, you have this vision, like, oh, my boy's got a grandma, we got aunts and uncles, but since everybody's going through their own personal trauma, and a lot of it stems from this one person being addicted, everybody has to figure it out on their own and not really have, you know, that mentor. Like, so for your brothers, Capito, he's going through everything in his mind. Like, yo, I feel betrayed, my home is being broken up, and he's gone. So he can't be a proper mentor to the boys. And and then you guys don't have that father that's all the way there in their brain or a mom. So Miss Sars, tell me, since we're still currently dealing with this as a family, tell me how it makes you feel, like with all the broken promises. When Cynthia was, pregnant with the boys, like where were you? How that affected your two relationship together? Like how did that bring you guys closer? What were some of the struggles that you guys fought through?
I feel like I needed to replace my mom, like as a mother figure, because she wasn't there. So I feel like I had to step up for my sister and for my brothers. Um, it affected me a lot, you know, and I just feel like it was a lot on my shoulders. But I still pushed through it, you know. I had to be strong for them, regardless, you know. To this day, I still have hope for my mom.
What were some of the things, like when Cynthia, talk about Cynthia's pregnancy, like when she was pregnant,
With Xavier, though.
yeah, with Xavier, and talk about all of it, Kano and Giovanni, just talk about how did you feel at that moment, the good moments of, being there as a supportive aunt and sister, and talk about, how it made you guys feel to being together as a family, with a family that you guys had left at that moment.
Well, I feel happy because, you know, I can do that for her. I can help her, and I can guide her. I could give her advice, you know, and I felt great being an aunt, you know, and I always in my mind I had always pictured what my mom would do, you know, and so I would try to do the same thing for my sister, you know, and just treat them with so much love. How my mom had so much love in her, so I try to give that much love to them, because that's the person my mom is.
See, and that's the difference right there, because you got to witness, some more of the better days with your mom and her actual personality before the addiction. You were able to apply that, that motherly side that Cynthia was missing, from her mom directly, and help. So, man, Cynthia, man, it's been a journey, man.
Yeah, it was.
It's been a journey, dog.
It has, but I'm very, very grateful to God that, I am still alive and I'm still pushing forward, and my kids are growing. I have certain situations that, are personal that I won't speak of, but you guys know personally that I'm working my way to progressing on. And, I'm just hoping to keep everything positive. Like, I don't want no type of negativity. I just want the best for my kids. I want the best for everyone around me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
And now that I have my boundaries set and I know what I want in my life, like, it's like, can't nobody tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we about to put some sauce on this. We got to talk about the boundaries being set thing, because people don't understand, like, when we're going through certain things. Like, I had to tell the audience, a little bit of my backstory last time, and me dealing with this, for over 16 years, from my step pops and my real father, man. I got crazy stories about that cat. We might interject, later on, different episodes, but we got some crazy stories. And addiction, as funny as some of the moments are that we laugh at now, it wasn't that funny when it was going on.
No, of course not.
But we're parents now, we're grown, and we're still dealing with this thing. So we set boundaries. And a lot of people don't know too much, of my background, besides the people who are in my family, or, are a part of my situation that happened in PA before I came out here. But I came from the trenches. And I wasn't no sheep. I was a wolf. I was raised by wolves. I was raised by a lot of gangsters, and they installed a certain type of mentality and movement within me that allowed me to survive in the area that I was in. And it's real, man. This addiction is real. This mental health crap is real. Like, it's out there, man. We go through these struggles, but we have to set boundaries. And let's talk about boundaries. So from where I'm sitting, it was hard for me and Damaris, because Damaris has such a deep love for your mom. But for me, I have to try to get people to understand that I allow mommy, speaking of my mother-in-law and your mom, get away with a lot of things that I don't even allow people to get away with in my life. And that's because I have such a deep love for your sister, and the things she supported me in, I felt like I owed her. That's why I never gave up. I never gave up on her, and I see how tight you guys are. And respectfully, this section of the family is more or less the black sheep section of the family, because you guys have to hold it together internally within, your direct siblings, because you can't really lean on too many other people outside the family. There's a couple, but not too many.
Yeah.
But so tell me what it was like. Like, when did you realize you had to set your first? Matter of fact, Miss Sauce, when did you realize you had to set your first boundaries, and what were they?
Just instantly, you know,
Before the baby or after the baby?
before the baby.
All right. So what were these boundaries you were setting? Like, what made you want to set boundaries and realize, like, yo, I can't allow this to happen anymore?
Well, at the time when I found out I was pregnant, I had my mom living with me, and she was on the drugs, so I was like, yeah, I need to stop. I need to stop and just be at peace with myself, and I need peace in my home. So I decided, she needs to go, because it was causing a lot of stress. And even though I love my mom and I needed to take care of her and just be on top of her, it was just too much for me.
All right. So, like, listen, addicted loved ones can strain positive relationships in your life without you even knowing it. She definitely had to set boundaries, because listen, y'all, I gotta look at y'all when I say this. She was beating up me, beating up my sister-in-law. She was giving us the ringer, and so she had the mixed emotions from the pregnancy and the hormones and whatever the case may be. But she was putting us through the ringer, because I'm sitting there like, yo, you gotta do this on your own. You gotta stand up on your own. You gotta figure this shit out. What's worth, what is it all worth to you? Because this shit could be gone. And don't get it confused. Addiction can destroy some things that you have set in your own life. If you don't set these boundaries, it'll tear some positive things you got going on in your life all the way down. And the things that you love, and I'm gonna say this because I gotta jump on Sin next, is because the things that you currently have, when you're going through the struggle as a single mom, the things that you currently have can be ripped away from you if you do not set these boundaries and put some backbone behind them. And Sin, so, I know the boundaries you had to set and why you had to set them, but I need you to tell the world, why did you have to set these boundaries?
So I finally decided, and I'm not even gonna front, I want to say it like, first of all, I want to clarify, my mother is a great mother. We had our issues or whatever, but I would never take credit away from her.
Shout out Hurricane Maria.
Yeah, my mom. I love you, mommy. But yeah, she was a great mom. I would never take no credit away from her. I just feel like we all had different relationships with our mother. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel more for, I was going to say Isaac and Jay. I feel more for Pedro and Guillermo, because they had to deal with more issues than we did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, we were a little bit older, so we knew where to take off from. You know what I'm saying? We had to get into our tribulations and trip a couple of times to get back up, but we're still going.
Where was the boundaries implied at? Why did you set boundaries? What happened?
So, being in a relationship with the twins' father, it became a very toxic one. And I was, at the time with my oldest and the twins, I was pregnant with the twins and my oldest was with me. But I realized after that relationship and after the toxic relationship that I recently left, like, my boundaries were like, I had to set them because of a program that I started attending. You understand what I'm saying? So I felt like at the time I was being more of a woman than I was a mother, because I didn't make the right decisions. Again, I didn't have the proper guidance. I didn't have like the proper support. So I had came into some personal issues where my oldest son, I granted residency of him to his father or whatever, but it was for my son to have a better life. You know what I'm saying? So people mistake that sometimes as if I don't care about him, but I want to clarify that I put him in a position where he could be better than where he was with me at the time. You understand? Yeah. So then I got with Manny, and Manny was just very toxic after a few years of being with him and seeing his true colors. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So like after maybe 5 years of being in the relationship with him, I was like, I gotta cut this out my life. Like, now I have 2 more kids involved and they're growing up seeing all of this stuff. This is gonna cause trauma. And I didn't want that anymore, Like it took me a lot of time, don't get me wrong. Because at one point I did love him, but I felt like the love was fading once I felt like I kept asking for a change and nothing was being done.
I just want to interject real quick. So the reason she's telling you, some of the trauma behind, her life experiences is because you're gonna get to see that if she got tired of dealing with all this crap and she wanted a better household and a positive environment for her boys, she had to eliminate some systemic problems first. But then it also shows you how and why she was willing to go so hard and set extra boundaries with her mom to protect her kids.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So then after that, like, once I decided I didn't want to be with Manny anymore, I ended up leaving Manny for a little bit and I got into another relationship, which I felt like I rushed into it, for the simple fact that it was probably like in the moment, like a puppy love thing for me.
Which one? My guy, Fran?
Who?
Fran?
No.
Francis?
No.
I love saying
He's a good guy though. I won't lie. Chris is a great guy.
Everybody got they close to comment. Friend, we miss you, big dog. I hope you alright out there, humping, man.
No, but the last relationship that I was just in. I don't want to mention no names.
Yeah, we're not gonna mention that.
So, but I definitely want to say it was a very, very huge learning experience for me. Being blinded by the bull. You know what I'm saying? And letting the sweet talk overtake the real person who I was and take away from my personality. I feel like I was being changed just to someone I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And then I started picking up on things that were bothering me, but it was like reflections of myself. So I would sit down and I'm like, what could I have done differently, or what could I have said differently instead of being rude and talking and cursing and yelling like this. But in reality, I started understanding that it wasn't me who was the problem. It was someone else who did, and it was that person.
Yeah, we don't even gotta be politically correct, man. Lo and behold, the truth is that some people just bring the worst out of you, and you're just not meant to be with that individual.
Yeah, so, I mean, it sucks though because they don't show you those true colors in the beginning. Never. And being a person who's very honest and upfront with myself, and I feel like that's the reason why I don't have a lot of friends, because I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm very forward, So not being able to have that reciprocated back to me was a very letdown. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm very, 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 very respectful, and I'm very, very humble. You know what I'm saying? And I like to be honest for the simple fact that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel good to be honest and do good things for people. That's just how I am.
So, Mr. Sauce, man, we getting on you next.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? What's up? So anyway, with all the things that you and mommy went through, did you feel like that affected your relationship choices in life?
Not really.
No.
Right.
She came out really good.
Yeah. Not really.
Oh, don't try to add no sugarcoating to this.
No.
We all make... Listen, I'm number one to tell you guys, I've had some pretty damn bad relationships that were physically toxic, mentally toxic, and I own my part in that. But do you... just be honest, do you guys feel like some of the trauma that you guys went through in your childhood of witnessing, some people that were older than you guys or some of their bad relationships played a part on you guys picking some of your mates in life? Like that was normal, since it was so normal to see so toxic stuff around you, that play a part. I mean, it's a yes. Yeah, I mean, if it's a yes, just speak on it. If it's a no, just speak on it.
Well, I can say yes and I can say no.
All right, now you're gonna have to put sauce on that because we got a bipolar answer. We got a split decision. We got a split decision.
We got a bipolar answer.
A little bit sauce on it.
So first, tell me why yes, and then we'll say why no, because I feel like why no is a more positive, outcome. So tell me why yes.
Just growing up and seeing my mom get into fights with our stepfathers, and my mom she's just a really a woman that likes to be demanding.
She's an alpha.
Yeah, so if it doesn't go her way, it needs to go her way. regardless. It doesn't
she's a
matter.
dominant alpha, okay?
Yeah.
She's
very,
very assertive about wanting stuff.
Her way. Yes.
Aggressive.
So she would get her way. And when I say her way, she gets her way.
Just because we don't want to do it.
Alright, so why no?
Because I didn't want to be like that.
Okay.
I didn't want to be, that person, take that trait from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be myself and loving, and have better relationships, and not, still continue that trait that my mom was showing us.
So you guys pretty much, came to your own conclusion, and you were accountable in the fact that, you chose who you chose, and you went through what you went through, and we all learned from that.
Honestly, can I just
Go ahead.
cut you off real fast?
Speak
I
on it.
feel like because, all right, so I'm not gonna say we didn't have a father figure. We had Agapito in our life. Shout out to Papi, I love you. God bless
Yo,
you.
shout out again, Agapito, we love you. What up, big guy?
He is an awesome dad, and I will never take credit from him. But I felt like because I never got to really know my real father, I had like this type of like desperate love of wanting someone to love me back. You know what I'm saying?
I can relate to that.
And it wasn't that Capito wasn't giving us that, because he did his part. You know what I'm saying? But as a child, you always wonder about your other parent.
Yeah.
And I used to question my mom a lot about my dad. I'm like, Mom, why does dad? Why doesn't he look for us? This, that, and the third. And then, I remember a time when me and my sister were home, and one of the family members from my father's side, it was an uncle of ours. He came to the house and he was like, hey, he wants to know about his daughters, and he wants to like pay for their flight to go there and back. And Mom freaked out, remember? She was like, no, you're not taking my daughters. She was like, hell no. So it was upsetting because I was like anxious. I was like, yeah, send me. And she's like, no, you're crazy. What if he keeps you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, we gotta like experience the world, But she was not having it.
You
so
just wanted to see your father.
it was just, I felt like in the relationships I was in, I wanted to be loved. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt like I was looking for that in a man, in a relationship.
Okay.
And I kind of never really healed from wanting to meet my father, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or understood why things were the way they were. Because even then when I got older, I was able to speak to him. But it wasn't like what I thought it would be. You know how when you speak with your parents after not knowing them for so long, you would think there's like some type of connection or something.
Yeah, you paint an image in your head.
Yeah, and I didn't feel that. It was just like a regular conversation. I was like, I don't think he cares for me the way I care for him. So I kind of just like, got cold with it. And I was just like, regardless, he's my dad. And I was like, I love you. And I just left it like that. But I feel like it's a huge learning experience for me now, being single and doing it on my own for my kids. Like, I feel great. I feel at peace. My kids are happy. There's no one in the house that's driving me crazy or taking me out of character, because it takes a lot for me to get there.
Hey, listen, y'all, real quick. I've been telling y'all I need a co-host before this whole thing started, man. Since out here, she holding it down on this mic real quick. And I know Mrs. Sauce, she got to be the mom and the queen holding me down in the background. Y'all don't understand how much work she be doing in the background, man. In order for me to have a peaceful episode, she got to do a lot of things. But I be needing a whole co-host out here, yeah, man. I don't know, son. She do her thing on the mic. I might have to, yo, Sin, we got an episode coming up.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, all right. So let's get into some more positive things, man. So from all the pain that we experience in our lives, usually some people go all the way left into the dark, gloomy areas in our life, but some people take that pain and have a positive outcome and be like, yo, I refuse to let this trap me, and I refuse to let this cage me, and I want more for my life. So you know what? I'm not just going to speak it into existence. I'm going to take action. And one thing I've seen, both of you do is create positivity where a lot of that dark pain came from. And a very important step to that is to take self-accountability. Like you hold yourself accountable for your own actions in these relationships and these trials and these tribulations that, are ordained in front of us. So with that being said, Miss Sauce, you're a mom now. You have, a household that God had blessed us with. I'm blessed to be your other half. I love you to death. I wouldn't change.
You guys are so cute.
I wouldn't change that for the world. You mean the world to me. When I was going through my own pain, like I said in the other episode, there was, things that you from late night Uber trips, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yo, she used to rock out with me, be on the phone. I would hear her fall asleep on the phone and then listen. I wouldn't even listen, yo. I love this woman so much. I wouldn't even hang up the phone. She would be asleep for 2-3 hours unless her phone hung up or died. I would let her sleep in the background while I'm Ubering. The phone would still be on. I would have trips, conversations, turn up with my customers, drop them off, and I would just be peaceful listening to her sleep. You don't understand the kind of support that she gave me, because I had hit the lowest part of my life as a man, and I had to find out how to rebuild myself, how to climb up out of the struggle. And Pittsburgh is a vicious city, man. People think, yo, if you don't know what a dangerous city is, there's a lot of dangerous cities, but from my own personal perspectives, I've seen niggas get killed for dime bags, nick bags. I've seen people get murdered for $20, looking at people wrong on the corner. I done lost a lot of my friends for stupid shit that should have never happened, and, you know, got taken out of the game early, you know. Shout out Meat Man in Pittsburgh, PA, man. We love you. You was a true loss. My boy Dion Jones, man. I'll never forget when Chaos told me that you had got hit up because a nigga thought y'all was robbing him for some weed, man. I lost a humble guy. He used to be with me every day, man. And he used to he came up to me. He asked me, yo, bro, I want to get out of here. I want to do better for my baby mom, Mimi, and I want to do better for my son. And I just don't know where to go. And he was like, I'm thinking about the Army route. I set up a meeting for him to meet my recruiter, man. And that the night he left is the night he died. Oh, so, you know, and shout out Dion, man. I'll never forget you, brother. You are truly my best friend, and I'm going to miss you so much, man. And Meat, man, yo, that one hit home. You know, just being a security guard, dealing with a stupid guy who just wanted to come up in the club with his pieces. You know, you just tried to lay that shit to rest, man. He clapped you in a tussle, and we lost a great soldier, man. Somebody who was humble and so kind-hearted, man. And I know my family in Pittsburgh, y'all can feel for me when you hear this episode, man. We love all of our fallen soldiers. But anyway, you know, just coming out of there to have the positivity that, you know, we take from this pain. You feel me? From everything that's born, good relationships, being in love with, you know, your true soulmate, having, you know, stable family, you know, seeing positive. Yo, Sam, I've seen so much growth on you, girl. I've seen your struggle. I've seen you growing, and yo, shout out you, girl.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Shout out this woman right here. She's awesome. So, tell us a little bit about some of your passion that came from your pain. I'm done talking.
So I started like having a passion for braiding when I was younger. My aunt used to do Lisette and Samantha's hair. She used to do box braids on them. Okay. And they would come on, they'd be like, look at my hair, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm
talking about Titi Lisette?
Yes.
She can braid?
She did box braids on the girls when they were younger. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I used to watch my aunt do their hair because they had very long hair, so she was always doing their hair. But I was like, Titi, how you do that? She was like, oh, you just do the boxes, da 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 da. I'm like, all right. But then as I got older, I kept finding more interest in the braids. And Lisette used to hang out with this girl named Minnie, which is Tasha's sister. Shout out to Minnie.
Shout out, girl.
Sorry like that. Nah, but she was going to cosmetology school at the time. I think it was, no, not cosmetology. It was E.C. Goodwin. And you know how they have the trades there?
Yeah.
So she was going to school for hair, which is cosmetology. And she was doing braids and stuff like that. And then she had mannequins at home. So I remember hanging out with Lisette and her, and I was like, oh, let's go to your house. And we went to her house, and she had the mannequins out. And I seen the braid designs on the mannequins, and I was like, I want to learn how to braid so bad. So I had asked her one time, I was like, do you mind if I just like watch over you to like see how you started? And she's like, yeah, go ahead. So then I watched over her as she did it on the mannequin. And then the next day I looked at my sister and I was like, hey, come over here. I want to do a braid on you. She was like, okay. So she comes over, and then I did my first little
quiet over there.
My first loose braid on her. It came out so dope though. I was mad hype.
Right? Hold on, what's a loose braid?
It was very, very loose. It wasn't like as nice as they look now. Like they were very, very loose.
No headache loose.
They looked like you could tell I was a beginner. Yeah. They were like just all over the place, and I thought I was the shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh my god, right? And then after that, I was like, I have to practice every day. Yeah. I remember my cousin J Hood. Shout out to him as well.
Shout out J Hood.
Yeah, he asked me to do his hair one time, and I was like, Primo, like I'm not really that good. And he's like, just do what you can, and I'll just put the do-rag on. So I was like, all right, I got you. So I did his braids, and he was like, they look alright, you know. And then remember our cousin Eddie?
Yeah.
I did his hair one time, and my aunt was like, oh, I like how you did his hair. You braided it all the way down. You know, you can't even see like the little ends. And I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm getting better each time. And then with Nuno, that dude, he used to hate me when I did his hair.
Oh, you did the tight jaws on him.
He was tender-headed. He would get so annoyed. He'd be like, hurry up, do the braid, hurry up. But I remember doing straight backs on him, and then I'd had like a very old picture. I wish I could find it, but I was sitting on the bed going like this, and it was my first time braiding his whole entire head.
Oh, nice.
It was really, really nice. The braids were a little bit tight, but they were still loose. You could tell I still needed some work.
Yeah.
But then over time, like, I just started watching YouTube videos. That's my go-to for everything, YouTube. You heard?
Fact, that's how I learned a lot of stuff.
If y'all want to
in my
learn
life, too.
anything, please go on YouTube.
Yeah,
Like,
check out
it'll teach you.
YouTube before you go pay these obnoxious amounts of dollars to learn a craft, man. I learned so much crap off of YouTube, it's unreal.
They can teach you how to change a tire, how to change everything in the car. I'm telling you. But yeah, so you know, over time everything just got better. Like I started braiding more and more, and then you know I was working at the time, and then the kids started having issues at school.
Yeah.
So when they got out of school, I had to stop working, which was a big, you know, a big
transition.
Yeah, for me especially because I was the one, you know, holding it down the most in the house. So then falling into debt, and then not having a job, and then someone that wasn't very supportive, it just made me understand that I had to do this on my own. I had no choice. I was like, it's either you're going to do it or you're going to wait around and lose everything. You know what I'm saying?
Reality set in.
So finally, when I stopped working and I got fired from my other job, like, you know, I started saying to myself, like, what is it that I can do to make money? You know, so that I don't have to worry about, you know, not having the necessities I need in my house for my kids or myself.
Yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing braids. And I just started with my sister. Like, my sister would come home to the house and she'd be like, can you do this on me? Can you do that? She started with the crochet. Then she did with the designs. Yeah. She was like, yeah.
Because listen, man.
Yeah,
So,
she
and
was
a lot
my go-to.
of y'all don't know. My wife got this talent for throwing parties, decorating, making handmade
Yeah, she
decorations.
does. She's like a fashionista.
I know, right? Let's talk about that, Miss Saw. So, what led you into doing some of the nice, unique things that I've never seen anybody else do that you be doing when it comes to decorating? And I know you told me a long time ago that you want to make dresses and do things like that. You know, you don't know. We might have something coming out in the future in regards to that, because I gotta have merch. And guess what? My wife can do my merch for me.
Hey, logos and all. What's
Right?
up?
And that just means I gotta give her, you know, the profits. We don't need a contract. It's set in stone. Whatever the hell she wants out of that. You know, it is what it is.
Yes.
But tell
can
us,
talk that out.
yeah, tell us how you got started off doing that. What inspired you? What was the first moment you realized that you wanted to do it? And you know, where do you think that you want to take this as far as the future?
I feel like I got that from my mother.
Yeah.
Yes. She was very, very creative when it came to the home. When it came to parties, she always went out.
She was
all out. So
I heard about them parties now.
Our house parties.
Shout out Hurricane throwing them parties back in the day.
Yes. I feel like I got that from my mother because she's very, very creative. And, you know, I grew up seeing her, you know, going all out for birthday parties. Mm-hmm. And I always loved how she did it. So now I do it for everybody else. I do it for you.
Yo, them birthdays be lit. Yo,
Yes.
I be getting woken up to cheesecake and candles, bags of gifts. I come downstairs, my house don't look the same.
Right now, if you don't know what a king is, listen, your wife ain't treating you right. I'm just saying.
And all I got to say is hashtag I'm a king.
Yeah, because you got a queen.
Yeah, facts. Big queen status out here.
Yes.
But yo, it's popping. I really like it. So, what do you think? Do you want to keep doing that? What do you want to do?
Yes.
I would like to take the step to doing more of the sewing. I used to sew my own dresses, anything you could think of.
She made her own graduation dress. She didn't tell you that?
No, she didn't tell me that.
Yes.
Boy, she looked it gorgeous.
I wish I had that dress.
We've been speaking about the whole sewing aspect, you know, and like I said, we're parlaying with some things in the background on behalf of that in particular. So don't worry about
I
all
just
that.
want to drop a hint, you know.
No, there ain't no hint. I already got the
For
hint.
birthdays.
Listen. Let's be clear. Let's be clear, because it's not just about your woman knowing the man. The man also has to know the woman. And I got my own hints, man. When she speaks about certain things, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm about to do real quick.
All right.
I mean, we about to tear it up. We about to do something real quick. So so you wanna continue with the showing, and I know you tell me, hey, bye, with my practicing doing XYZ, and you don't necessarily be very blunt, but I know what you be getting for, because I love you and I want to support that. So
Yes, girlfriend, you got a whole huge supporter right here.
Yes.
I've always told her, I was like, girl, why don't you go to school for this? You know how much money you could be making. Like the way her mind works when it comes to like decorating or just putting stuff together, I love it.
I'm just gonna say this. So I got a truck that I'm trading in, right? I want to trade. I was accepting cash, and this guy came through, and he's gonna drive 2 hours out here with his truck to see if he's gonna trade me for my truck, because we don't want to get rid of our trucks, but I need what he got, he needs what I got.
That's what it works.
The reason I needed a pickup truck was for certain things that I'm trying to put together in the background. Not even trying to be sneaky about it, is that a pickup truck is something we need in order to haul a trailer that might be used for on-the-go party designing, on-the-go, I could set up something where she can have like a little workshop in there and sew, because we don't own a house yet, we just have this condo, and we have plenty of space to have something at home, but we need something that we can, tear the guts up out of there, and we can haul material and certain things, or like hang up shit
and have
bring,
a storage.
and like so that. We could like if we're designing somebody's house, we got to be able to bring stuff to the house. If she's doing a dress or something, she's got to be able to have material inside of a trailer. So if she gets there, she has to make an adjustment. Boom.
Yeah, she has all the tailoring to do for the tailors.
I know. I didn't speak about this in depth with you, but this is why I've been vivid on trying to get a pickup truck in the background. And not necessarily, I know we got to do other things as far as vehicles and, cars. Well, God bless us, we do have a car, and, but this is why I've been pushing for a pickup truck, not just because of that, but because I'm a carpenter. And, there's certain things that I need for, renovating or doing work in a house that I foresee in our future. But that's why I've been, trying to get this pickup truck swapped out and things situated, because I believe in you. And I know I never told you that, but I was going to surprise you, but fuck it. We're talking about it on the air, so it is what it is, but that's why I want the pickup truck and the trailer that I've been talking about. She probably like, oh, he gonna do it for his toes, No, I was doing it because I wanted, to invest in things I believe in. And one of the things I believe in, more than a lot of things I believe in, right underneath God and my Lord and Savior, is my wife.
Aww, I love you guys so much.
So enough of that. I gotta maintain my composure. But you know what? I'm thankful to God for the many blessings He's bestowed upon us in our lives, how He's kept us tight as a family, and how we continue to grow and prosper together.
Amen.
One thing I want to see is more family time, more memories being made. I know we all go through our struggles in our lives, but that doesn't mean we can't be a family. Right? We need each other. We need to hold each other up. And I know we're still going through things with mommy. Mommy, listen, no disrespect, man. We love you.
We do.
We love you, mommy.
We wish the best for you, but at the same time, we do have to have our boundaries, and we can't allow you to cross those anymore, because we have things to lose. We just want you to do good.
Yes.
We want
the best for you.
We want you to wake up from this long nightmare, and we want God to touch you, and we want you to just submit your life over to a better cause. We want to see you back to. I want to see the party Maria.
Yeah.
All I know is the Hurricane Maria. I want to see the party Maria back in the day. I want to see this Maria that was cooking all this good food. You know what I mean? Loving the block loving her back, her healthy.
Listen, if y'all don't know who my mother Maria Rodriguez is, then y'all don't know nothing.
Y'all don't know nothing. Listen, so I don't know nothing, because I want to see some of this stuff that I've been hearing stories for so long. I want to see it. So Hurricane Maria, I know you're gonna watch this episode like you watched last episode. Then you gonna know you be watching the episodes. You be like, oh, they be talking smack. Well, we talking smack. We want you to get it together, Mom. We truly want you to get it together, man. I just see my step pops coming out of a long addiction, man, and he's surviving right now. He's doing so good, and it brings me to tears of joy when I just talk to him on the phone. Sometimes I be wanting to cry because I'm like, damn, you doing so good. I love you. You meant the world to me. You meant the world. D Solo, shout out to you, man. You mean the world to me, step pops, and to many of us. And the fact that he's doing good, it restores my faith in believing that anything is possible. That anybody can overcome this. And mommy, you can overcome this. All you gotta do is really start believing in yourself, because we are all waiting for you on the other side of positivity. And until you walk through that door and make that change, we ain't listen, our doors is closed. But the moment you make that change, guess what? They're gonna be open, girlfriend. We're gonna be waiting for you.
The doors may be closed right now, but we will always have your back, girl.
They crack. They crack. They're not closed. They're not closed.
They like
they crack.
this. They like this just in case, you know?
You know that little, you try to sneak in your parents' room for the, see what they doing? They trying to sneak past them real quick to get the snacks. You be like, all right, they knocked down. Let me go get the snacks.
Snitching out. For real.
Oh, man. But, one more time, man. Shout out your platform. Send and let them know where you be braiding that and get it all the way correct. Put that sauce on it so we know.
So for my original Facebook page, it is Sin CT Braider. For my braiding page, it is Sincita Braids. And then on Instagram, I believe is Sin_Cita. And on TikTok is @Sincita.
Oh, she got some platforms for your ass. Platforms for your ass.
Come check me out and book with me if y'all want to, you know.
All right, Mrs. Sauce, you got anything you want to say in closing? Anything that you feel like you need to get off your chest real quick, mama?
Well, I want to say that I was excited to do, to be on this podcast today.
Thank you for being a major support in my life.
Thank you. I love you, Pa.
I love you, Ma. I love you.
And I'm excited for you actually, to begin this podcast and this journey, and to continue with all these blessings and I'm here to support you as well, like you support me.
I appreciate you, my love.
Don't be getting all emotional over here. Like, I don't got nobody here.
Let's just slide that tissue box. You can be a companion with the tissue box.
Okay. I got my boo right here.
Okay.
Like.
Shout out her boo.
Yeah, you going
that tissue box boo. That ain't gonna let you down, emotionally supportive and everything.
God is my main one right now.
Yes.
That's my main one.
Put
right
that
now.
sauce on it. Let them know. That's what Primo.
Yeah.
Shout out King Devotion.
Shout out to Primo King Devotion. That's right.
Alright, well, hey guys, thank you for rocking out with us for another episode. I'm your host, Sauce the Boss. This is Made M&W Mentalities, and we out. Peace.